Welcome Team 83. This short video will show you guys how to build the different parts of the website. This video will concentrate on the storytelling side of the website that I had discussed with Lucas, Catherine, and Daniel. What you see on the screen is kind of what was in their notes, where they wanted to have a big picture in the background, an eagle gear on the right hand side. This is going to be a navigation element that's going to take you to the main content part of the website, so kind of a way to skip the picture story. The center area has some text about the picture that's being displayed, and then you have a next button that'll take you to the next picture, and that page will pretty much look exactly the same, except the picture will be different and the content of the text will be different. So let's get started and go ahead and see how we build these pages. So I'm going to be using Text Wrangler because I'm on a Mac, but any text editor is going to work. Nothing like Word or OpenOffice or anything like that, but more like an HTML text editor. I have the file open called index.html. I'll give you guys this file and you guys can use it as a template. Basically what you're going to see here is there's an open HTML tag, an open head tag, the title area. In here you can change the name of the title. You just want to make sure that you have your open and your closed title tags, and then you can change anything in here to say whatever you want. That'll give the web page its title in the browser. Okay. Next, in the style area, I'm going to go through this rather quickly, but just so that you understand, everything that's in the style area is basically instructions to the web browser on how to display the items that I'm going to put in the page. So basically, if you look at these elements, each element here, like BG space IMG, it's telling the browser what I want it to do with the background image. And I'll declare what that background image is later in the code. Again, you don't have to do anything here. Don't even worry about it. Leave it the same for now, and then once the web pages are built, I can walk you through exactly how to change some of these things to fine-tune. Okay? What you will notice and what you can pay attention to is that each one of these little sections has a little title here. Like this says pound next, and this one here says pound copy text, right? When we move down later in the document, when we start actually putting the contents in for what's going to be displayed, you're going to notice that those names are going to come up in the IDs of the divs. This is how the browser knows where I want to put these divs. So let's go ahead and we're going to close out our style tag. We're going to close our head tag. We're going to open up our body tag here, and then we're going to make one big div that I'm calling container. This is just a div that's holding everything. You don't even have to worry about it. First one that you're going to look at that will start to make a little bit of sense to you is when you look at div ID equals logo gear, right? Inside that div is where this logo with the eagle and the gear lives. So based on what I put in between this div and this closed div, that's what's going to show up in that area. So for right now, I have an image of the gear, okay, and I've given it a width of 200. That means 200 pixels, so it will make it 200 pixels wide, and it'll dynamically scale it so that it always looks proportional, okay? And then I've wrapped that inside of an href tag. So this is how you make a link on the web, so that when I click on that gear, it'll take me to the page home.html, and we'll build home.html in our next lesson. Okay. The next div that you're going to see here after I close this original one is going to be the div with the ID called next. Okay. that is going to be this little next with an arrow on the bottom right hand side of the browser. This is how I'm going to navigate to the next page. Okay, things that you'll want to pay attention to in here is this is going to tell me inside this href, it's going to tell the browser where I want it to go. So I'm making this one go to 2.html, and we'll talk about that in a second. The next thing you're going to see is this div id equals bg. Again, that's telling the browser this is the picture I want to put in the background. Okay, and so when I display the picture here, I'm telling it that it's in a folder called images, and the name of the picture is called 1.jpg. Okay, 1.jpg. That's going to make it so that this team picture shows up in the background of this page. And then lastly, what I'm going to have is a div called copy text, right, that we saw up above earlier. And this basically is the text that's going to be in the middle of that picture. Now, as you see here, I have a sentence, I have a break tag, I have another sentence, and then a second break tag, and then I have my third sentence. So the break tag is basically going to give it a line break. So when I look at it in the browser, you can see it says, "Welcome to the story of Team 83. There's a line break to the next sentence, and then at the end of that one, there's a line break to the next one. This is where you will be able to modify whatever text you want to show up in that middle area. Again, I close my divs and I close my main container div, I close my body, and I close my HTML. Now, when I want to build the second page, the page that this is going to go to, correct? I want it to go to page 2.html, right? The easiest way to do this for you guys, and this is how you'll build all the rest of the 12 pages that you wanted to do, is you do Command A to select everything on the screen, Command C to copy, and then I'm going to go to a blank page, and I'm going to do Command V to paste everything in. Now, everything is going to stay exactly the same, except since I'm on page 2, the next arrow should actually make me go to page 3.html. And again, since I'm on page 2, the pictures that should show up should be 2.jpg. And based on whatever picture that is, I should make the text the text have something to do with the picture I'm going to display on that page. So page 2. So I'm just typing in here, here is the text for the picture on page 2. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it as 2.html. All right, so do File, Save As. Make sure I'm inside my Team83 folder. 2.html. I'm going to hit Save. And then now, when I go back to my browser, when I hit that next button, it's going to take me to the next page. You see in the browser window, I've now moved to 2.html. The picture has changed. Here is my text that I want for page 2, and I have my next button that's now going to take me, as you can see in the bottom left, to 3.html. All you have to do is repeat that process, and every time just change the next button to point to the next page, and it should be, the next page here should be 4.html, and then whatever page you're on, you want to make sure that the image right here is going to match the number of the page you're on. So if you're on page 3.html, you want this to be 3.jpg. If you're on page 4.html, you want this to be 4.jpg. If you want, you can go ahead and do all of your pictures to make your 12 picture story, and then come back and edit the copy based on the pictures that you pick. In one of the future lessons, I'll show you guys how to make the pictures the right size. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to email Catherine, and then she'll get me the questions for you. Thanks a lot.